Have you ever heard of Soviet X-ray records? Let's talk about it. So in the 1950s, during the Cold War, Western music was strictly forbidden inside the Soviet Union, which was a huge bummer because rock and roll had just burst onto the scene in America with musicians like Elvis, Chuck Berry, Bill Haley, Little Richard, and many others. So the Soviet citizens got very creative and made their own bootleg records of this banned music out of the discarded medical x-rays from hospitals and clinics inside the USSR. These knockoffs were known as ribs music, bone music, jazz on bones, music on ribs, and even Röntgen ribs. In fact, I even made a video about them on my channel a few years back. These records were paper thin, 7 inches in diameter, spun at 78 RPM, held only one song, their center hole was apparently burned out with a cigarette, and their sound quality was terrible. But they were dirt cheap on the black market, costing only 1 Russian ruble. Also, the grooves on these records were so thin that you could only play them a few times before they wore out completely. Now, I'd love to have one of these in my collection, and although you can find them on eBay, I have no idea if they're authentic or not. Isn't that ironic? But overall, back in the day, these records were a creative way for Soviet citizens to bypass their government's censorship and enjoy Western music. And I think that's pretty cool.